All right, so welcome back. Let's do more on this particular story and get into the studio and speak to the Honourable Member of Parliament for North Tongu, Samuel Ablakwa, who has been at the forefront of this crusade against the sale of the Snate hotels to the Rock City Hotel. Now, today he's calling for the suspension of this process because when this whole thing started, the president asked Labour to meet with the Labour and Employment Minister, but nothing else has started. We want to find out from him what he knows, why this call at this time. Honourable, good afternoon. Thanks for coming.
Hi, good afternoon.
Now, we knew that when this whole thing started, the president was notified. We thought that processes would have been halted. Why are you now calling that they have to halt?
Well, that's what we all thought. Indeed, the president asked Organised Labour to go meet with his employment minister and the board of SNET. We all thought that processes were underway for the president to listen to the agitations, the overwhelming condemnation of the deal. Unfortunately, from what Organised Labour has told us, when they went into those meetings, the appointees of the president, both at the Ministry of Employment and on the board of SNET, sought to rather convince them that this was a good deal, which was in the national interest. They were outraged, left the meeting, engaged the media and their partners, and sent very clear message that their position is not changing. They are even more convinced, after listening to the board of SNET in particular, that this deal cannot be in the national interest. From what we gather, particularly latest documents we've intercepted, it's clear that the process is underway. They are doing final due diligence, and we've intercepted all those documents. And Rock City is on the verge of being handed over these hotels. So we must ratchet up the pressure, escalate the agitation. That is why we notified the police in compliance with the Public Order Act that tomorrow, the 18th of June, at 8 a.m. sharp, we will be converging in front of the Labadi Beach Hotel to protest. We will let the whole world see the Labadi Beach Hotel in all of its magnificence. The claim that these are hotels that have been run down, that are not worth our SNET investments, the contributions that we have made over the years, cannot be true. We want Ghanaians to see the true state of these hotels, away from the propaganda. We want them to also see the state of La Palm Royal. And then from La Palm Royal, we'll use the Gifford Road, proceed through the Jawala Road, Cantonments, Post Office, then the Parks and Gardens, DVLA, all the way to the Christ the King Church. The Ghana Police Service is saying that they don't want us to get too close to the Jubilee House. So they want us to terminate in front of the Christ the King Church so that representatives of the president will walk over across the street from the Jubilee House to receive our petition. We have agreed with them. We are very peaceful, law-abiding citizens. We don't want any confrontation, any violence. All we are saying is that the president should listen to us. We are the real owners of these hotels, the Ghanaian people. These are hotels that are valuable. They are great brands. They are profitable. The irony is that all the documents we have now gathered on this transaction, Labadi Beach Hotel, only last year, posted a profit of 158 million Ghana cedis. Only last year, Labadi Beach Hotel paid dividends to government to the tune of 25 million Ghana cedis. The year before, 10 million Ghana cedis. From what we have seen, Labadi Beach Hotel is in the position of paying even higher dividends this year. If you look at the Deloitte report, and Deloitte, we all know the reputable global audit firm, Deloitte & Touche, they are saying that Labadi Beach is so profitable that their cash reserves in their 5 local bank accounts is 58.4 million.
That's what this report is saying.
That's what the reports are saying. And I will share them, I'll leave them with you. Ridge Royal, another profitable hotel.
In Cape Coast.
In Cape Coast. So if you look at the fact that even La Palm Royal, which is struggling only recently, it used to be profitable, it is largely because of bad management. They have appointed square pegs in round holes. If you change the management, because we have put out memos where a deputy MD acts as MD at La Palm Royal and demands to be paid $18,000 for 6 months, $3,000 in addition to her salary. Where does this happen? So it is a bad management practices and the clear looting of these few hotels which are struggling. Remember that the others are doing very well.
Okay.
Now, if you also compare these hotels with the newly established Rock City, in terms of expertise, in terms of experience, in terms of brand recognition, and then in terms of financials. Because when this whole deal started, when I blew the alarm, SNIT issued a statement on the 19th of May, telling the Ghanaian people that they have had to take this decision to sell the hotel 60% of their shares to Rock City because they want to bring in a strategic investor who will turn these hotels around so that they will be profitable, so that they will be efficient, so that the long-term sustainability of the pension funds will be guaranteed. When you go through the financials, that statement was palpable falsehood. Labadi Beach Hotel is so profitable. And the irony is that the buyer, Rock City Hotel, we have now obtained filings that Rock City itself carried out at the Ghana Revenue Authority in compliance with our laws. You know that at the end of every year, companies must, file their returns so that the taxman, GRA, will know how much tax you must pay. Will you believe that? Rock City, despite all the hype, is loss-making. Rock City made
That's
losses.
what they are.
Yes.
So what does the document say?
Rock City is making losses of about 1.7 million. So
and this for which year?
So for last year, 2023. Last year. Yes, their latest
million losses.
Yes, their latest filings as at April this year. In the entire history of Rock City, they've made profit only once, and that is in 2021, where they declared a profit of 1.6 million. Only once. And 1.6 million is what Labadi Beach Hotel is using for its corporate social responsibility.
Okay.
So if you compare the hotels, Rock City rather needs salvation from these hotels that are being sold. And then...
But are we not only using Labadi Beach, which seems to be doing so well, to defend the other three hotels, which of course, including La Palm, which you say recently is struggling?
Yes. So you see...
is that not what we are doing?
That's not what we are doing. You see, you need to bear in mind that when you come to assess these assets, you must look at their brands. You see, these are assets that have brand recognition. Everybody in this country, on the continent, the hospitality industry, knows about La Palm, knows about Elmina. You must take into consideration the land. You know that in Ghana in particular, these beachfront, prime locations, they are always appreciating. So you don't just look at even the books. So we are saying that even the modeling, how they are assessing these hotels, is wrong. Nobody is looking at goodwill. Nobody is looking at brand. Nobody is looking at reputation. The assets of these facilities, the land, the prime land, all of that ought to be taken into consideration. And then if you look at the fact that how come the same stretch, the same beachfront, you have Labadi Beach Hotel doing so well, so profitable, same location, same conditions, it's a 5 minutes walk, and then La Palm Royal only recently is struggling. It tells you that it's a management issue. Because when you look at even the assets, La Palm is bigger than Labadi. La Palm has more rooms. La Palm has a larger banquet hall, more conference facilities, more than Labadi has. So it is really strange. The only plausible explanation is the bad management practices and the fact that the managers at La Palm Royal ought to be changed. Just do that. Don't sell it off, especially when these assets over the years, over many, many years, have helped Ghanaian workers. Look, this is a struggle for Ghanaian workers, for our future. We hope to retire so that all these investments, which are contributions, and already our salaries don't even take us home. Under the law, it is an obligation. If many workers had an option to save because of the scanty salaries they get, they would rather not pay anything. But the law says that let us, and it's also for good reason, so that in the future when you cannot work, there is something that is preserved for you. But The way SNIT is managing our pension funds, don't forget that we are having this discussion within the context of the ILO report, which is suggesting that if SNIT do not change, and it is because of practices like this, if they don't change their management practices, their recklessness, by 2036, they will not be able to pay pensions. I mean, that's a scary prospect. Very, very scary indeed. And you see, this statement that SNIT put out on the 19th of May, a copy of which I have here, claiming that they are doing this to increase efficiency, to bring profitability, shareholder value, long-term sustainability of the SNIT pension scheme. The question that many people are now asking, if you read the SIGA report, of all SNIT investment, the latest SIGA report, and SIGA is the State Interest and Governance Authority, the latest SIGA report submitted to Parliament reveals that the worst performing SNIT investment, worst of all time, is STC.
Okay.
According to the SIGA report, in 2017, STC made a loss of 28.9 million. In 2018, 18.1 million. In 2019, 27.9 million. Can you believe that? Nana Akomia's STC. And the irony is that Nana Akomia is supporting this transaction. 2020, 32.5 million losses. 2021, 52.4 million. Shocking. According to SIGA, STC is making losses on the average, 32 million Ghana cedis on the average.
Okay.
Very frightening. So the question that you ask is, if truly SNIT is concerned about loss-making assets under its investment portfolio, why are they not looking at STC?
But at a point in
clearly, STC is not profitable. So you see, it exposes the real intention. They have packaged these hotels. They've looked at the books. They see how profitable it is. Look, if you look at the terms, we have intercepted memos where Rock City, what they are offering is just about half of the actual valuation of the 4 hotels.
So you're saying that's in opposition to what SNIT itself put out, because SNIT says what Rock City brought was even higher than the valuation they had done.
Well, I've never heard SNIT say that.
Because I read here, it says, is it on the basis, SNIT says the total bid by Rock City for the 4 hotels was above the valuation placed on the hotels, which with a total bid of 60% as $61.2 million US compared to the total value of $59.1 million US. That is palpable falsehood. If you look at the internal memos that we have intercepted, the SNIT valuation is clear that the 4 hotels, fair market value, is $121 million. That's what they are told. You see, SNIT thought that we would not have the capacity to intercept documents, to secure all the documentation that we need to wage this crusade. Okay.
We have it. It's $121 million.
For the 4?
Fair market value, yes. If you even go...
Is that from their own valuation report?
Their own valuation report. Their own valuation report. And you see, if you even look at I have the individual breakdown of the
various hotels.
The various hotels, the valuation report. You have a situation where, if you take Elmina, the valuers are saying that at least fair market value should be $7 million. Fair market value. Rock City is offering only $2 million for Elmina.
But I thought they said Elmina was out of the... It was...
No, Elmina is part of it. They said Buzia and Trust Lodge. Those two
were out, okay.
That itself is problematic. You see, why do you allow Rock City to go around and select the juiciest, the most profitable? The reason why you tell us yourselves you are bargaining on this sale is for somebody to come and save your non-performing assets. Now, if the person comes here and says that, having gone around, having done my due diligence, I don't like Buzia, I don't like Trust Lodge because they are the worst within the portfolio. in terms of profitability, it defeats the purpose of the whole thing. That is why organized labor at their press conference on the 20th of May says that under our procurement laws, the whole procurement process should have been aborted. Okay. And you should have redone the procurement. Because what you advertise, what you told the world and all those who were coming to bid that you would do, that's not what you ended up doing. Now, don't forget that when you also allow 2 of the worst hotels to be taken out of this transaction, you are shortchanging Ghanaian workers. Because what is going to happen to those 2? And people are now going to just offer, if you ever even offer them for sale, people will offer you next to nothing. But when it is part of the whole group, the whole consortium, people will see what is good, what is lucrative. Okay, Labadi is in there. Rage Royal is in there. La Palme is in there. And then you get a good deal. That is why normally such transactions are put together in one pool, so that there can be best value. But when you allow Rock City, your preferred bidder, to pick and choose, and now they've left us with what has been really run down by these same government officials appointed over the years. Who is going to take them? Who is going to revive? Who is going to resuscitate Trust Lodge and Buzia Lodge?
But isn't this for the reason why SNIT wants to prevent, in quote, a rundown in the future? Why they want a strategic partner to take over? For instance, you were mentioning STC. I'm sure in the past, STC at a point was profitable. But how we've managed it over the years has brought it to where it is. So in preventing these hotels from getting there, that's why they say, let's allow a strategic partner to take over. Isn't that feasible?
So my response to you is that as a country, when are we going to learn from history? When the first coup happened on the 24th of February 1966, and Kwame Nkrumah, the Osagifo, was overthrown, all those who came after Nkrumah said, oh, government has no business doing business. Let's privatize. Over 300 industries and factories privatized. They claim that, oh, it is best in private hands. Today, I have seen studies that show that of the over 300 industries, probably only 2 have survived. Only 2. So our history teaches us that this claim of privatization has not helped us. It has not delivered any value. Really? What happens is that these assets become owned by individuals. If you look at what is happening in the case of these hotels, Labadi Beach Hotel is a very interesting case study. So about 12 to 14 years ago, they were struggling. Then a new management was brought on board. They were even experts. They signed a management agreement with them. They turned only a management agreement. They don't have shares. We still retain our ownership. The new managers, with best practice, were able to turn it around. Then we asked them to go. You've done your part. It's 10 years. Leave. And handed over to the local capacity they had built, those who understudied these foreigners. And see the wonders they are doing. Over the last 3 years, Labadi Beach Hotel has swept all the awards. They've won more than 20 awards. In the 5-star category, it is the best performing hotel. So we have 2 scenarios. What we have been doing since 1966, which has led to massive job losses. It has prevented us from industrializing as a nation. It has not advanced our welfare in any way. Then the second model, what was done at Labadi, which has served us well and has proven to be so profitable. It tells you that the issue really is about management. Don't put square pegs in round holes. Stop this political patronage, party apparatchiks, jobs for the boys. That is what is destroying these state assets. Be professional. When we tried it with Labadi, we adopted a professional approach, handed over to professional Ghanaians who had understudied. See the wonders they are doing. See the dividends they are paying. See how much profit they are making. So look, I am clear in my mind that going back to this reckless model of washing our hands and not getting any returns and selling these hotels for cheap, that don't come in, it has to stop. Look, in this discussion, if anybody has any doubt that this is just a matter of state capture, look at what has happened to Labadi Beach Hotel's beachfront. I have put out latest revelations that apparently Labadi Beach Hotel is the only beach hotel in the world that does not have full control over its beachfront. Can you believe that?
Really?
Can you believe that? And it is because of, again, the political hijack. People in high places who feel connected, who just take advantage. I have been told by insiders, board members. That is why they dismissed the former MD, Vincent Ernst, René Vincent Ernst, the Dutch MD who was dismissed, because he colluded with top politicians. Now, this is how we started. So, court documents, confirmed court documents, incontrovertible.
You have them here?
Yes.
You have the court document here?
I have the soft copies on my phone. I didn't bring the court document, but I have all of them, over 800 pages.
Okay.
So it's difficult to carry them, but I have digitalized all of them, so I can forward them to you.
Okay.
And I've been serializing them on my social media handles. Now, so
let me just say that we as JoyNews probably we don't share in this view of yours. We dissociate ourselves. It's fully your
problem.
Thought. Okay.
And that's fine. Indeed, I have dared all those who are issuing threats to go ahead and take me to court.
Okay.
But what is incontrovertible is the fact that in 2018, a gentleman called Loic Devers Jr., told he's a Belgian Ghanaian, I don't know him, came up with this business idea that President Akufo-Addo has announced year of return. Labadi Beach Hotel is an iconic brand. So he wants to organize an entertainment extravaganza, have artists, our local talent perform for these Africans in the diaspora who are visiting Ghana. So he goes to approach his friends, who are the Blay brothers, Kwawosima Blay and Kwame Adinkama Blay. And they register a company called Gold Coast Expo Limited. And they staged the first Polo Beach Club event in 2019. They signed a joint venture agreement between Loic Devers Jr., the Blay brothers, and Labadi Beach Hotel that they will share the proceeds. Now, for transparency, they say that all the patrons of the beach club events should come through the frontage of Labadi Beach, go through the reception, so they can all keep records, know the gate proceeds, and know how to share them. Shockingly, the joint venture agreement was not respected. When it became clear that the proceeds are so good, and this is such a juicy business, so again, when they tell you that these are non-performing assets, they then decide to hijack the whole business. That is what made, we would not have had all of these revelations if their business partner, Loic Devers, did not feel cheated. That they've changed the software, they've denied him access to the money, to the accounts, the proceeds and all of that, and went to court. In the process, then Labadi Beach Hotel, the board and management also got to know that, this is what is going on. The board found out that, you didn't even bring this to our attention, we don't have a share, we are losing revenue, and all has gone to one side, And so they launched an internal inquiry and they dismissed their MD. Now, fast forward, what has happened is that a new entrance has been created away from the Labadi original entrance. And the Blay brothers say that they now control the beachfront. They've gone to see some people, La Traditional Council. I've seen statements from members of the La Traditional Council saying that they have not sold off the beachfront.
So what was the court case about?
So the court case is about how Loic Devers has been cheated, how the joint venture agreement was not respected. So he wants compensation. He wants his share of the proceeds from the Polo Beach Club events. Ultimately, what this reveals is that Labadi Beach Hotel now does not have control, and they are helpless. Board members have told me that they are helpless. They have lost their beachfront. They are losing revenue. These people the Blay brothers have constructed huge structures. It's affecting even viewership. People come to a beach club hotel so they can view the beach. They can't view. There's a lot of noise and all of that. It's affecting revenue. So look at how, despite all of these challenges, they are still making profits. Imagine how much profit they will have made without all these encumbrances, this encroachment, by the Blair brothers. So it tells you that when we talk about classic state capture, this is it. People have seen how profitable, the political elite have seen how profitable these hotels are and just want to have it for themselves. Look, I have been asking. So we come into public office. We are in government. I remember I've been asking this question more than 16 years ago. 16 years ago, I and my good friend Omane Buama took the Honorable Jacob Echebilamte when we discovered that he was buying his bungalow, the bungalow he has stayed in. We argued that if all the ministers since Kwame Nkrumah's time were buying their bungalows, there will have been none left for him to occupy and serve this country. In a 6-3 decision, we were denied victory. But if you read the dissenting judgment, specifically Justice Sophia Akufo's judgment, she said that they had missed an opportunity, that they should have avoided technicalities and looked at the bigger picture, the bigger moral issue, and that this may come to haunt us one day. And there we are. Sophia Akufo has been vindicated. Well, that was a golden opportunity. So I am making the point that I have always been against public officials. Look, you are sitting in cabinet, you're a minister of state. And look at the irony. You tell all of us that, oh, these hotels are not profitable. Oh, they are not good for the rest of you. Oh, workers, forget about it. It's not a good hotel. And yet you want it for yourself. If it can be good for you, one man, a great minister, why can't it be good for all of us? These are hotels paying dividends, paying taxes. Over the last 3 years, Labadi alone has paid taxes 20.5 million. Rock City is not paying any taxes because they are making losses. I mean, does this make sense? Then I've also been asking, so we are told by our friends in the MPP that the Honorable Champong is probably one of Africa's best hotelier. He has such a fantastic hotel management expertise.
Which SNIT also allude to.
Yes, SNIT is claiming that, less than 5-year experience is better than the Deloitte. Deloitte is saying that Labadi has 40 years of expertise, of experience amongst its management when they put all together. But SNIT prefers to go with the 5 years one, less than 5 years. But
the 5 year you're talking, are you talking about the combined management experience or just the entity? Since
the combined management experience.
Of Rock City?
No, of the management of
Labadi
Beach.
40. And I'm asking you that, what about the combined management experience of Rock City?
It's less than 5 years. Yes, less than 5 years. Less than 5 years.
The combined management experience.
Combined management experience. Less than 5 years. If you read their financials, and I've read all of them, I have all those documents. Now, I have been asking, so why is it that you are sitting in cabinet, you're a cabinet minister, you have all of these great expertise, great ideas. You cannot bring it to bear at cabinet so that all of us will benefit. Why do we send people to cabinet? If you read our constitution, cabinet is simply a place a few people go to brainstorm. Ministers go with their expertise, their capacity, their know-how, they bring it to bear so that it will benefit the country. You say that the only way you can bring that expertise to bear is if you buy the hotels. If the hotels are for you, it's your private property. That's when you can bring the expertise to bear. Is this right? Is this patriotic? I mean, so why are you in cabinet?
But since he's not taking 100% ownership and he's taking just 60%, if he makes profit, the state still gets 40% of that.
Good.
Isn't that better than to lose? For example, we've only mentioned how profitable Labadi is, but we've not spoken about Lapam. You even alluded that over the years it's made some losses. What about Ridge Royal? What about Elmina? Are they also making profit? We'll not really come up with the numbers that these people, these entities are also making.
Yeah. So let me address the 60% issue. Don't forget that in these share structures, 60% is a controlling share. So he is going to call the shots. He is going to be the new owner. He will even decide whether the workers there will survive or not. And that is why organized labor is up in arms, and they are so outraged about this transaction. because there are even no safeguards. Because anytime you see, in our history of diversity as a country, anytime you see inject efficiency, what it means is redundancy. There's going to be massive layoffs. That's what is going to happen. That has been our history. Anytime you see efficiency. Now, let me address the issue of, oh, they will share the proceeds and all of that. Right from the beginning, we are not getting value for money. This $61 million he's offering is far below the fair market valuation. Far below. So that's where the losses begin. And he has a track record. If you look at how he came to obtain the 25% share in Grand Regency Hotel in Kumasi, which used to be the Kumasi Catering Guest House. SNIT's own valuation put the figure at 8.6 million Ghana cedis. He didn't pay that. He refused to pay that. He offered only 7.4 million. And even that, he didn't pay at once.
Really?
Yes.
And there are documents to prove that he didn't pay?
Yes, I have put out all those documents, including board minutes, including what he actually paid and all of that. So there's a pattern where he never agrees to pay actual valuation. He did it with Grand Regency. He's doing it with this. Now, let me come to the other hotels. Ridge Royal. What saddens me about Ridge Royal is that from the records I have, only recently, SNIT has extended facilities to Ridge Royal in excess of 70 million Ghana cedis to renovate the place, put it in great shape. Over 70 million. If you knew you were going to sell it, why waste our workers' contribution?
Which year did they give this money?
Over the last 10 years, it's been going on.
70 million.
Yes, yes, 70 million cities.
Cumulatively.
About 72 million cities cumulatively. And so they've spruced up the place. If you go to Ridge Royal, you'll see that, state-of-the-art, modern facilities. And then see what is on offer. $8.4 million. And even that below the valuation. You come to Elmina Beach Resort. Yes, Elmina is one of those struggling. But if you look at even what the chiefs have said about Elmina, the Dinar Traditional Council has issued a statement. And the Mahine has made clear that because we're going to put up a hotel for the public good, which will create jobs for their people and all of that, they didn't even ask government to pay the fair market value. So they feel that, look, if now you are going to privatize it, give majority shares to an individual, then come back to us. You need to talk. Now, if you consider all of that, including the value, it's a very long stretch. All analysts who have looked at the valuation and how much Rock City is offering for Elmina are just outraged. Just $2 million. I mean, the land alone for that beachfront. And we all know Elmina, the significance. That's the first place these slave raiders went to. It's the number one place when it comes to tourists who want to know about the slave trade. It's a UNESCO, designated area.
And recently I heard cruise ships were able to dock around the area.
Yeah, so. It's a place that you don't toy with at all, So where is the value of all of that in this? And it's going for a song. It's going for a song. Look, elsewhere, because of the strategic importance of a hotel there and its linkage with our tourism, our heritage, our culture, and all of that, it will not even be added to transactions of this nature. Because don't forget that the state is only talking about retaining 40%, which means that you are a minority. You will not have control. You won't have a say. If he decides today that, look, I want to convert this into high-rise apartments, he will just pay you out, and that's it. So look, anyhow, any way, whichever angle, whatever perspective you introduce, this transaction is not in the national interest.
But Sami, which is better? Having 100% in a non-performing asset and having 40% in a well-performing asset, which is better, really?
My response to you is non-performing from when? So suddenly, all the years that these assets helped us, made profits, We want to pretend that it doesn't matter. And I have told you that let's learn from Labadi. Fortunately, we have best practice. So Labadi Beach Hotel began to struggle after initial years of making profit. We then decided, look, bring in this South African legacy, they call the company. They are renowned globally. Let them come and teach us their hotel management expertise, their skills. Let the locals understudy. And when they are gone, give it to the locals. Don't just bring political apparatchiks. Let them, those who have understudied, continue what they were doing. And see, 158 million last year, 70.7 the previous year. Few hotels made profit after COVID. Labadi Beach Hotel made profit. So let's just adopt that model. This model has worked for us. Why do you want to change it?
Isn't it the same model that they are using to run Ridge Royal and Elmina? You've said Labadi, as for that, they've employed Square Pegs and Round Holes. What about Ridge Royal and Elmina?
So Ridge Royal, Elmina, La Palm, they don't have any management contract. They're just appointing, the politicians are appointing people there.
Really?
Yes, that's what is happening. There's no management contract. So the board, the Senate board and management, and referrals from politicians, or we want this person to go and manage La Palm.
And that's it?
Give her the job. And that's it.
And that's what they do?
And that's it. That's what they do.
You sure?
Oh, yeah, that's what is happening. That's it. So even in one of the justifications that Senate has put out, they are saying that when they become minority and they don't have controlling shares, then it keeps them away from the political interference, the political domination, and they are therefore insulated so that politicians will not be insisting on who should run these companies. They are out. Now you have to go and, if you have anybody, you can only call Brad Champong, who is the director. He's one of two directors of Rock City. He's the sole beneficial owner. He's the sole shareholder.
But he's explained that he's not, the day-to-day management is not his problem. He's just given the vision.
That, again, that claim has been exposed by the chiefs of Edina, who say that they saw him come in there, doing the due diligence, tried to take over the hotel. The Edina Omahini.
Really?
Yes.
That he himself was there?
Yes, the Omahini has written, yes. And that has not been challenged. You know, I've been reading that letter. And you see, if you look at how the Rock City Hotel Limited incorporation documents are, under our company laws, you need to have at least 2 directors. He's one of them. So, board of directors meeting, he's always there. If he's not there, they can't meet. So, he is there. He is the sole shareholder. He is the sole beneficial owner. In other words, any profit that Rock City makes goes to him. If Rock City runs into trouble and they have to sell somebody's assets, it will be his assets. Because it's him. It's Rock City. And Rock City is him. So he can't run away from it. So look, the point must be made that this deal, apart from the conflict of interest angles, apart from the violations of Article 78, Article 98, apart from the violations of Article 284, it cannot be in the national interest. That is why I am proposing a private members legislation.
Okay.
And work is advancing very impressively. I want to salute Professor Azar and colleagues who are helping us on this private members bill. We want to ban. You see, people are taking advantage of gray areas, even though there's conflict of interest in our constitution that Article 284, no public official should put himself in a position where his private interest conflicts with his public, mandate. But clearly people are taking advantage. So we want a very explicit, a very clear and precise piece of legislation that will ban all politicians and politically exposed persons. I don't want people to think that, we are doing this because the Honorable Brad Champong is not NDC or is not from our political tradition. No, it's not about the individual. It's about the principle. And I am saying that, look, the time has come for us to just end this whole business of politicians. So, look, when they give you state assets to manage on all of us our behalf, if it was 6 hotels, why don't you make it 8? Make it 10 or 12. Add to it so that those coming after us, our children, our children's children, will look up to us and say, oh, we did well. We've become so irresponsible. I mean, for us, since Nkrumah, so only Nkrumah should build assets for us. Then we are just selling. What are we leaving behind for the younger ones? So nobody is thinking about adding to these assets. You know, this discussion should have been about, oh, after all these presidents, they left us 6 hotels. We have added 2 to it. Or we have renovated, we've expanded it. If it was employing 3,000 young people, now it can employ 5,000 people. Okay. That is what this discussion should have been about. Okay. So we want to ban this practice. I am fully convinced that when politicians cannot participate, you can't eat some of the pie, or let me say some of the Sandler meat, since we are in Sandler period. Exactly, yeah. If you know you can't get some of the Sandler meat to eat, you will not go to cabinet and be talking about let's sell. Why is it that always there are so many in this management, there are so many options available? Why are politicians always quick to go for the selling option so that they can go behind the scenes and buy it?
When will this bill be ready?
We want it to be ready in this parliament. So that's why at our press conference today, we appealed to the president that he should stand by to assent to it. We don't want him to do what he's been doing to other private members' bill, where he causes his secretary to write a cease and desist letter to Parliament. We want him to really support this effort and to sign this to become law. But if he doesn't, I'm very convinced, I have absolutely no doubt in the capacity of President Mahama, who inshallah will be the next president of Ghana, January 7, 2025, to assent to this bill. So we are hoping that before we rise, this bill should be ready. But we will also do stakeholder consultations. When the draft is ready, we'll share it with you in the media, we'll share it with civil society, and we will have roundtables so that we can all make inputs into the bill.
Sammy, I'm grateful for passing through.
Thank you.
Samuel Ablakwa, ASD, Member of Parliament for North Tongue. This is still the pulse here on the JoyNews channel.